Elevated sumo squats with a pulse. So essentially think of this as like 1 1/4 reps for each rep that you do. When you're doing this, I would stack this on something where you're getting enough elevation to be able to get a little bit deeper than you normally would if you just did this without having the elevation. So I'm using a 25 and 45 pound plate. The only con to this is that the surface is not completely level. So be mindful of that. You might want to use some risers and steps, whatever you have available to you, but in a pinch, this works really well. Another thing about this is when you grab that dumbbell, you want to think about pulling it behind you slightly so it's not right in front of you, because again, we want to bias our glutes in this movement. We don't want quads to take over. Quads are going to work. We just don't want them to be the only thing working in this movement. As you come down into your squat position, make sure heel to toe is engaged on the plates. You're going to sink down into it, driving those knees out, getting those hips under you, really focusing on keeping those glutes squeezed throughout the movement while keeping your chest up. So I don't want to see any rounded backs. You can play around with how you want to hold the weight. I wouldn't hold it long-wise just because you're not going to get enough depth unless you're using something really deep where you're standing on where when you come down, that dumbbell doesn't hit the floor. So think about that in your setup as well. Have fun and add that little pulse for a little extra spiciness.